Hey there, everyone. It is Susan Gerbic, all the way from Catnip Corners in Salinas, California. It is my time, 9:30 at night. Who knows what time that is for you guys? And yes, I am in California and I've got my nice sweater on. So um, I'm recording this because we were having such internet problems that were really, really bad. And because I thought 12 hours ago I was actually going to be speaking to you, I knew that I only had 30 minutes and that Paul had said that he wanted me to talk about the motivated sitter and Wikipedia. And I could talk you guys' ears off and it would be a lot. And I still couldn't do it in 30 minutes. So during the day, since I had a lot more time on my hands, I came up with several different ideas of what I wanted to talk to you about. And I could give you a taste of this or a taste of that, and it still didn't feel like it was going to be giving you enough. So I've written out something, and I'm going to be just talking to you from my heart to you guys, and I'll try to keep it within my 30 minutes, and you guys can watch this. And of course, I'm recording it as well and other people can watch it. So we've been doing skeptic camps in the United States for a long time, as well as you guys have been doing in Australia. And they came along, I think, in 2007, and a man called Reed Isu, who lives in the United States, he kind of modeled Skeptic Camp on this idea that they were doing at bar camps. I guess it's a computer kind of thing. And what happened is with all the drama and the all the different things that have happened around the world here with our community, the skeptic community, we kind of took a dive on our skeptic camps. And then when COVID hit and the lockdowns hit, it got even worse. Some groups went online and we were able to successfully keep those groups going. Other groups all over the place have just suffered. And it's because of the fact that we kind of lost sight of what we should be doing, which is we need to continue to meet and be together. Online is great. I mean, it's wonderful that we can do these Zoom events, but not it's not replacing what we really need to be doing, which is sitting down with each other, shaking hands and breaking bread, having a beer, having a slice of pizza, laughing and sitting and really enjoying each other's company. That has to happen. And we're really struggling to get that to start back here in the United States. I've been doing skeptic camps all over. I think I did 15 of them last year, and I flew or drove to most of them because, California is a long ways away from the rest of the United States. And we've really had about 30 to 50 people attend these events. And while sometimes it's even been smaller, the point is we just have to go. Even if it's a small group, these things still have to happen because we're not going to get anywhere. And if we're just going to be relying on going home and watching videos on YouTube. All right. So I put a list of things that I really wanted to make sure that I told you guys. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. The Australian skeptics have just been phenomenal. And I understand you're not having a full-on conference this year, and it really makes me sad. It really makes me sad. And I sure hope that in 2027 that you guys get back to your full conference, because we really look to you. We really do. You guys are doing it right. You have a long established history, and it's a lot of fun. I've been to at least 3 of your skepticals, no, skeptic cons, I think that's what you're calling them, and they're great. I mean, the Pin Spoon Award and all that. Let me tell you, super clever. We love it. So my advice to people out there who are watching, because I've been in that audience a bazillion times. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. It's not a bazillion, but I've been sitting in the audience where you guys are a lot. And the first thing that I want you to know is just that we need to show up for each other, and we need to show up for events. That means if you can only attend them over the internet, well, okay, that's all you can do. But if you can show up for lectures, if you can show up when somebody's doing a group, doing doing something, and you show up either in the Zoom event or in person, or you show up at a Skeptics in the Pub or something, just showing up is really, really important. And by coming to a skeptic camp, you are showing up. So kudos to you guys. You're doing probably the most important thing you could be doing right now. Also, I have been running these groups, these all sorts of strange different groups for such a long time. And I am not a scientist, and I am just Susan Gerbic, who has a equivalent to a 4-year college degree mostly in history. And I was trained, you guys know, I was for many, many years a retail baby photographer. So the things that I'm doing in this community is just insane that I'm doing these things. But what I want you to think about is, what are your special skills? What is your niche? What is it that you guys can do? What are you good at? I mean, are you a leader? Are you a follower? Are you an outdoorsy kind of person? Are you more of a writer, a musician, more visual? Are you the type of person who is good at showing up and helping get things done? Setting up chairs, answering emails. What is it that you're good at? Run that over in your mind and kind of come up with some ideas, because like I said, there's no training for what I do. I certainly running a Wikipedia project is certainly not ever in something that I should be doing. So think about what you do well, and then think about what you would like to do. Do you want to be in front of a crowd of people? Do you want to be behind the scenes? Are you kind of okay with doing tasks that aren't exactly, people are jumping up and down and shaking your hand for? What kind of personality are you? Are you comfortable speaking in front of people? And I think that somewhere in there, with also the combination of thought of what needs to be done, what is the most efficient thing that needs to be done? Because somewhere amongst all that, what are you good at? What do you like doing? What needs to be done? What kind of else is being done? And then combine those all together and see if you can come up with whatever it is that you guys want to do. What is it you want to do? How much time do you think you actually have? And really think about that, because people are always telling me they don't have time. But then we find out later that they have a lot of time to, what is it, scrolling on your phone? Doom scrolling, you're on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, and you're there. And a lot of time is wasted doing that. Trust me. So I think that finding something to do that fits your lifestyle, that fits your niche, your personality, is what I would encourage everybody sitting in the audience watching this to do. I mostly got my start at a skeptic camp. A long time ago, I had attended a skeptic camp, a James Randi Educational Foundation skeptic camp. And what we were able to do is a man on the cruise, his name is Tim Farley. He gave a talk on the importance of Wikipedia. This is 2010. And I took notes, and I'm a photographer, a portrait photographer. And I took a picture of Brian Dunning. And somehow, I'm not sure how I managed to do this, but I managed to upload the photo to Wikimedia Commons. And then I put the image onto his Wikipedia page, which was what we would call a stub. And I looked at it and I said, boy, that picture looks good, but boy, is this Wikipedia page a mess. So back in 2010, things weren't like they are now, where there's more rules and it's more structured and there are templates. And I'm not a coder. I'm not a computer person necessarily. So what I did is I struggled through trying to figure out how to write this Wikipedia page. And I was nearly banned multiple times because I really had no mentors. I had no training. And there, even now, you really can't find training. There is no other organization out there that has a program where you have, like, you start at the beginning and you move through all the different steps, and and you have mentorship. I don't know how anybody edits Wikipedia without that. So I started out watching the SkeptiCamp and then moving to a point where I was doing edits, and then Facebook started up, and I was posting on Facebook saying, hey, I did this thing. I edited this Wikipedia page, and other people came along and said, Susan, how are you doing that? What are you doing? And then I said, well, I did it this way. Here, let me show you how I did it. And then, you know, I had like 3 or 4 followers in my group, and I didn't even know what the group was called. And somebody at a SkeptiCamp said, come out and do a talk to my partner, Mark Edward. And he was going to come do a talk in someplace in the United States. And I said, I want to do a talk. I'll do it on this Wikipedia thing. And I just came up with the idea of calling it Guerrilla Skeptics on Wikipedia, because that's what Mark and I were kind of doing, is naming everything Guerrilla Skeptics, because we were really weird. We didn't think it would be a thing. And I put together a talk I'm glad it wasn't recorded because it was probably horrible. And then over time, I started doing more talks and more people joined, and I had to come up with formal training. And then we moved to Facebook into a secret cabal, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And this project just grew, and I had no idea what I was doing. And now we've written over 2,300 Wikipedia pages. Think about that. We write in all languages possible. 45% of the work we do is in languages outside of English. Those 2,300 Wikipedia articles have received over 200 million page views. And we know that that's only a tiny little number, because what is going on now, and I couldn't foresee this because I'm not psychic, and well, nobody is. So what happened is I was able to take, we're writing these Wikipedia articles all on science, scientific skepticism, claims of the paranormal, people of science, in all languages. And what has happened is that we're seeing that our work, the Wikipedia pages we've written, are being taken and quoted, just straight up quoted, by all kinds of media and social media people, influencers. I mean, they're taking the Wikipedia page, literally taking it and reading it off to all of their thousands of followers who are getting the information that my team has put on the Wikipedia page. So it's all behind the scenes. Nobody's there saying, oh, good job to the editor who wrote the Wikipedia page, but we know this is happening. We also know that Wikipedia is being drawn on for all things AI. It's training on there, and I'm pulling up I wasn't planning on doing this because I didn't think I was going to be able to get that internet right. So what we're finding out is that not only is AI and all sorts of different areas are pulling our Wikipedia articles, and they're using it to educate people, but this also is going on. Let me share my screen so I can show you this. So this is one of your Australians, and we wrote this Wikipedia page years ago, not thinking anything would come of it. This is Barbara O'Neill. I'm sure you guys have heard of her. You're Australian. So this is a search I did just right now. This is a Google search. Now, the first link that's coming up is sponsored. So this is Barbara O'Neill's own website. So she's paying for that to be up there. So I'm going to hide that sponsored thing. So what people are seeing whenever they Google a person, a place, a thing, is they're getting something like this. Now, the Wikipedia page is usually the first link that's going to come up when somebody's doing any kind of search. And this is not paid for. This is only here because that is the most popular link that's coming up. So what we're seeing is that the first line that we have written is what's appearing here. And then if we look at this area over here, this area over here, we're seeing that it's also pulling right directly from Wikipedia. You see how it says Wikipedia right here. It's got some other little things on here as well. And so Wikipedia outranks her actual website. And then it goes down to the other things of the most popular views. The reason why I'm telling you this is because people are reading our work again by just doing a Google or an internet search, not going into great depths and clicking on the Wikipedia entry, but they're getting just what they need. Like, is she still alive? Did she go to, what university did she go to? How old is she? You know, those little blips of information that sometimes we're curious about. We'll just look at the internet search and we go, okay, we're out of here. So the work that my team is doing for the Guerrilla Skepticism on Wikipedia project, I think, is the most important work that we're doing outside of just being together and bonding and getting to know each other. I don't think there's any more important project out there than this project that I'm running. Now, it's not for everyone. I do have a large group of Australians, which is why we do a lot of editing on Australian-centered Wikipedia articles. So our GSOW project is something you can join. You have to be on Facebook. You have to go through training. It can take you 4 months. It is something that is, like I said, is not for everyone, but there really is no more important project because misinformation is absolutely rampant and we have to keep that in check. And my editors not only write Wikipedia pages, but we are doing a lot of other things to keep misinformation off of Wikipedia. And I'm very positive about it. I have a very good feeling about it. So I'm telling you that story also because not only do I want you to join my project if you're so inclined, but I want you to think about how accidentally you can stumble into something. You know, you don't need to do a blog, write articles or start a podcast or something like that to make a big difference. There's a lot of other ways of making a big difference. The other thing that I really wanted to talk to you about is, you know, I was going to talk about the motivated sitter, but I'm not going to be able to do that in the time that I'm kind of allowed here. What I want you to understand is that I started diving into the world of the psychic medium maybe, well, we started our first kind of action against a psychic in 2009. And I have been on my own now because Mark died in 2024. And I have really dived into the world of psychic mediums. I have started a YouTube channel. It's called Psychics Explained. And there I have learned so much. Every time I say I'm going to write a book or I'm going to write an article that explains everything that I know, I say to myself, you know, I just learned something new today. And tomorrow I'll learn something else again. The reason why I really want you guys to understand what's going on in this world of the psychic mediums is that as skeptics, I really don't think we are, as a whole, understand what's going on. People maybe sitting in the audience there, you might be guilty of this. I know I was for years. I thought I knew what was going on. I would tell people, oh, those psychics are just in it for the money. They cold read, and what they do is they throw out these letters of the alphabet, and they get a Maria or a John, and then or they're hot reading where they go in and they look you up on the internet and so on. So I was just telling people who thought that they were psychic themselves, or people who had gone to readings, they're saying to themselves, oh my gosh, I got this really wonderful reading. And then you get somebody like myself that comes in and says, you don't know what you're talking about. That was all cold reading. That was all hot reading. We just kind of we're not really listening to these people. We're not understanding what's really going on. So in their minds, they're going, oh, these people, these skeptics are just awful. They don't even listen. They think they know everything, and they've never even had a reading, or they didn't even go to the reading that I had. They don't understand how I'm touched and how that changed my life. And we really haven't been empathetic enough to really think about what's going on from their perspective as a sitter and the perspective of the medium. It's very complicated, and there's a lot going on. And I think that we like I said, as a community, need to stop talking about it like we know what we're talking about, unless you really do. And I've got a few hundred videos up on my YouTube channel. And as I say, I learn something new all the time. The perspective of what is going on in this world of mediumship is incredible. It is a crime on women, absolutely. But most of the debunkers, the people who are explaining what's going on, are men. And I love men, but I think that maybe we need to have more women focused activism in this area. Also, some of these mediums that are getting into this world are doing so because they're being pushed into it, being lured into it by other mediums. And I don't have time to explain exactly what's going on, but some of the people getting into it are just trying to get the cash cells to feed their family, because a lot of women are underemployed and underpaid. At least that's how it is in the United States. And they're struggling. And when the pandemic hit, women had to stay home to take care of the children, to make sure they were getting into school, and on in the internet. They're staying home to take care of their elderly parents, their in-laws, other people. And so a lot of them turned to the cash sales you get from opening up a tarot shop or a medium shop online, and getting cash sales. You go to TikTok, Instagram, and you've got money for dinner tonight because you've told a few people a bunch of stuff that you made up. We also know that a lot of women women tend to die, men tend to die before women. And we know that, especially during the pandemic here in America, it was really bad, that women, they would see their husband go off to the hospital, and then they never got to see them again. And that was really, really hard on people. Their lives were completely thrown apart. They were not able to have funerals like we had before. And then also all the other like weddings, baptisms, our social events, church, just schools, everything changed, where we weren't able to really meet with people in person anymore. So what we see is a lot of women who turn to mediumship to watch mediumship readings, to learn what was going on with their loved one on the other side, who may not have died of COVID, but had just died during the COVID time when you couldn't meet to have funerals and things like that. So we're seeing now the media is really pushing mediumship. And you guys know that there in Australia, oh my gosh, the celebrities and the media companies are raking in a lot of money from views, clicks on articles, and pushing out this nonsense. They are willfully ignorant, because what they're pushing is a pseudoscience that harms mostly women. And they kid themselves by saying that it's entertainment and it helps people. It does none of those things. Absolutely does not. So I'm kind of running out of time here. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit and just explain to you guys that whatever niche you are looking for of things to do, it could be something of that sort, where you find your area of interest and you just learn everything you possibly can about it and try to find a way of explaining that thing to an audience that really doesn't understand it. So picking something is a fantastic idea, and it could, who knows what it could be. And I really want to strive for making sure you guys understand to have empathy for the people who are involved in all different aspects of this, because pseudoscience is it's a fantasy world a lot of people live in, but some people don't. They've been led there because that's how they were raised, or their religion belief teaches them these kinds of things. So have a little empathy for what they're going through. And also, some people's brains are just wired that way, where they're looking for conspiracies and they find comfort in that idea of conspiracies or connections that aren't there. And I think we'll have better conversations and we'll have better success with people if we really think about what it is, why are they in this position they're in, and how can I be a better partner with them to help myself understand, as well as help them understand where I'm coming from. And I think we can have more, we'll get farther with this world we're going to be living in soon, that's going to be, it seems to be taken over right now by misinformation. I really do think we're going to get through this. It might be a long time, but we're going to get through this. So please stop arguing with people on the internet. A lot of these people are trolls. It's wasting your time. It's raising your blood pressure. And it's not helping. All right. So find another outlet for yourself. Get a dog and go for a walk or something. But try not to fall into this trap of sharing things that you haven't checked out, even if it agrees with your political beliefs. I don't think sharing things that are ridiculing the other side necessarily is helpful. If it's slop, it's AI generated, it's altered, yeah, sometimes I do that kind of stuff and it's a good fun laugh, but I've really toned it back a lot, because I don't think that making fun of people's appearances and scenarios where, that are just impossible, that are memes shared, I think we should find better uses for our time. And really watch your use on social media. Use it for good. Use it to relate to people that you want to relate to learn more things, but try to really avoid clicking on those things that are clickbait, short reels, just brain worms, where you just like check out in your brain. You're no longer paying a lot of attention to it. As we get more into the world of the AI, because a lot of what we're seeing and hearing isn't factual, and they're clipped in ways that make it sound like a different story than what you actually thought you were seeing. So really try to limit yourself, or at least be self-aware of what you're doing. Make good use of your time. And a lot of the time what you're looking for is good time for yourselves. Pick up a book, listen to music, go outside in the garden, go to a place where you can relax, sit in a hammock, whatever it is, hang out with a dog or a cat or a bird or something. Take time for yourself and slow down and just enjoy being you. We won the lottery and we are here. We're humans that are managed to make it through, and we're here now. So enjoy your life. But when you have a little time to your extra time, try to use it wisely. Hang out with people that you want to be with. reach out to somebody that you're meeting at SkeptiCamp, get their social media information, get their contact information, and meet up with them. Say, hey, you guys, this is a lot of fun. Does anybody else want to meet for pizza or coffee or a beer? Or I hear there's a lecture on something interesting that I think people would like to go to. Anybody else want to go hang out with me and let's go to this lecture? Just keep the community going. We shouldn't be just meeting together at conferences. We should try to meet at other events as well. And if you can find reasons to meet online, more power to you. If you have any interest in anything that I'm saying that you need help trying to figure out what it is that you should be doing or helping out, please reach out to me. I'm easy to get a hold of. I'm on all the social medias. You can get a hold of me by email. My favorite place to get a hold of me at is Facebook Messenger. And I will keep you more busy than you can possibly imagine. So you might want to be careful contacting me. But there are so many tasks that need to be done. And some of them are just those kind of tasks that will just take you a few minutes, but can be powerful to a lot of people. I mean, we need so many photographs for Wikipedia to use for Wikipedia. I can't even imagine how much is missing. We're constantly in need of more images. We need audio. We need people to go in and just review articles to see if it needs more attention. We need all kinds of things. I mean, things I can't even think about right now. Anyway, I'm going to end this because I'm about at my 30 minutes. I really appreciate you guys letting me talk to you today. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to actually watch you and get feedback and answer questions, but I'm really approachable. You guys can reach out to me whenever you want. My email, as I said, is susangerbic@yahoo.com or gmail.com. And I did kind of think off the top of my head, so I wasn't such an eloquent speaker as probably you were expecting. But I truly am speaking to you from my heart of knowing that I have been in that seat many, many, many times. I mean, at least 18 times during the last year at the different various skeptic camps in the United States and some in Canada. And I remember back in 2010 when I was sitting in the seat at the James Randi Educational Foundation, just in the back with my notebook. And I was kind of thinking to myself, what can I do? What should I do with myself? How should I help out the community? What should I do? I don't have a degree. I'm just Susan Gerbic. What am I going to do? And I heard that talk about Wikipedia, not meaning to actually do much more than upload the photo, but one step after another. And next thing you know, I'm running the most powerful project, most effective project in the scientific skepticism community now, and probably for a long time coming. It's just, that's what happens when you start taking chances and showing up. And I want to thank you guys for showing up and listening to my ramblings talks. And thank you guys so much. Please invite me to Australia when you guys get your next conference, big conference. I really would like to come back out. And if any of you guys are coming this way for PsyCon in June in Buffalo, New York, which is a long ways for you guys. But if you're coming out to the United States, please let me know. If you want to do lectures in different areas, let me know. I'll see what I can find. Maybe there's a skeptic camp or a skeptic group that wants to do you can come in and do a presentation, or maybe it's writing an article, or tons of things that need to be done. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. See you soon. I sure hope I'll see you soon.